G'day guys, Jared McMillan here, J&J Rural. It has come time to answer the last week's Howcome Humpday episode 3 question. Now, you got to forgive me if I'm pulling a couple of weird faces today, like I'm trying to push out a fart. I've just done me back again. But anyway, the show must go on, so let's get into it. Now, the question from last week was, why do people drill holes through their timber fence posts to run the wires through? And as I said, there are times and places where you need to do it, but there are also just as many, if not more, times that you don't need to do it. And if you don't need to do it, you're going to save yourself a whole bunch of labour if you're doing it yourself. And also, if you're paying a contractor, such as myself, to do it, then you're going to save yourself on the cost of the job there as well, if you don't need to do it. Now, there are, like I said, there are times that you do need to do it. Such times would be, so traditionally, the reason people did it was because they had large beasts or large pressures on the fence line coming from both sides of the fence line. So if you picture a paddock, run a fence straight down the guts of the paddock, you put cows on both sides, there's no electricity or whatever, then obviously having your wires go through the posts means that they're not going to be able to pull away from the post. So it adds a bit of strength to your fence. Fair enough. You can't argue with logic, can you? The thing is, that system was brought about before, the availability of what we have nowadays. So you can get fencing staples now that have barbs on them, similar to a fish hook. So they go into a post, they have a barb, it stops them popping out. Now the old clips, and I was recently asked how old are the old clips and how new are the new ones. I don't know. Like, anyway, the old ones are older than the new ones are new. Like, I don't know, the new ones have barbs, the old ones don't. The old ones, you could get them with a pair of pliers and just pop them out. They popped out heaps easy. So therefore, if you're worried about your wires popping out, well, yeah, you're running through your posts. Makes sense. Now, I don't want to get too far into depth with this because, bit of a spoiler, our next Howcome Humpday will run back into this topic a bit. There'll be a bit of overlap there, so we'll save some for that. But anyway, the new barbs, they're really good for pine or really green posts, but if you use them in seasoned hardwood, they're not so good. So the way to go about that is a different style of clip, something with a screw. Now, there are types out there. You just got to do your homework and research some. But we use some that we've come up with ourselves that we think are really good. Keeps the cost down. It's effective, and again, without going too far into it, it means you can work on your fence later on a lot easier. So, yes, running the wires through the post are good where you're worried about the pressures impacted to the line. Now that's all well and good, but let's say, what about your boundary fences, right? And yeah, boundary fences, yeah, you want to keep your animals in, but most of the time, like if your boundary's up against a road, you're not trying to keep cattle out, are you? So why not just clip your wires to the inside of your fence line? It's just, makes the job a lot easier. Why not? Anyway, pardon me. Yeah, it's hard to get into this without giving too much away on next week's segment. But really, I guess I'll try and wind it up now, keep it short and simple. is if you are in the process of putting a fence line in, have a think about it. Do you really need to worry about going to all the effort and all the extra strain of drilling through your fence posts? Now, one other thing on that note before I forget too is think about, while you're thinking about it, think about what you're doing to the lifespan of that fence post when you start drilling holes into it. All right, I can guarantee you're not making it longer. And timber is the shortest lifespan of any of your fence members. So, food for thought there. Yeah, just quickly, if you've got your wire running through your post, you got a hole there in your post, any moisture or anything sitting on that line wire will travel downhill to where it touches your fence post. It's all going to drip and pool inside the hole in your fence post, and then you're just promoting rot, really. You're shortening the lifespan of your fence post by drilling into it. So if you don't have to, don't do it. All right, and if anything ever goes wrong with your fence later on down the track, maybe you need to fix a post, maybe you need to take it out, or whatever the reason, it's as easy as undoing clips. Then you don't have to actually undo your line wires, you just undo a couple of clips, move your post to where you want it, put it back in, replace it, whatever. Straighten it up if you need to. Especially in flood affected areas, which I've been visiting a lot of lately. And the other thing with your fence as well, quick side note, but this will be saved to go more in depth later on. Don't make the mistake of trying to build a fence that will withstand everything and never fail. That is the biggest reason your fence will fail. What you need to do is if you haven't got a governed weak point in your fence, then under extreme pressures, your fence is going to find its own weak point, which I can guarantee you is never where you want it to be. All right, and if that sounds strange, next time you're driving around, especially if somewhere that's recently had floods, and you look at the amount of fences that have washed away, if those fences could break under the immense strain added to them, that wouldn't have happened. So think about that. Anyway, I've had enough rambling on. My back's sore. I want to go finish my beer, sit down and, I don't know, maybe watch some Tipping Point or something. I think it's about the time of afternoon. So anyway, thanks guys. Have a good one. Good one. Yeah. You'll see me again tomorrow.